Wudang, Shaolin, Taiji, Bagua, Xingyi. All of these are Chinese Kung Fu, Chinese martial arts. So how is it that we have so many different Kung Fu styles? Why isn't it that there's just a single style known as Kung Fu? On today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at the history of how there are so many different martial arts styles in China. Come join us.
Welcome back to Daoist Gate Talks. My name is Johanson, and we're here, as always, with Master Zhou Xuan-Yun.
Hi, 大家好.
And Henry Lee.
Hey.
And today, in the past, we've talked on the subject of different styles. Mostly we talked about Wudang style. We touched on Shaolin, but we've also heard of other styles like Hunggar or Xingyi. So the first question today is, where did the different styles originate, and why are there so many different styles coming from China?
好吧，我们就是上节可以讲过了，就是讲这个功夫，它本来这个渊源呢，它最早开始的时候就是说这个人呢，就是说打仗，然后一个人和那个动物斗，然后就说总结出来的一种经验，这是它的一个最早的一个 from 它从这地方开始的。
So previously in previous episodes, we've discussed the idea that first and foremost, Kung Fu came out of fundamental combat. Folks would go to war with each other, or they had to defend themselves against wild beasts. If you're hunting a boar, for example. So coming up with the most efficient and systematic ways to pass on this knowledge to other folks.
那后面就是人们总结出来这种经验呢，这种经验就是对打的这个，就是说我们可以给它就是用现在的话来讲，就是我们把这个叫为功夫，就称为功夫。对。
So folks, they took their experiences. They said, hey, this is the best way to fight somebody if they're going to throw this punch. If they would throw a kick at you, this is the best way to defend that. Things all coming out of their own experiences, which they passed on to others. And then eventually, because it was a whole system, they said, hey, we're just going to call this system Kung Fu, martial arts. It's the art of fighting, of waging war, essentially.
所以说这就是在我们后期为什么它有的很多那个门派，就是说我们一个人可能学习了这个东西，但是这个人又在别的地方学习了一些经验，他自己的这个身体这个条件也不一样，他自己的这个想法不一样，这都引起了他自己，然后觉得自己和别人的不一样，然后他自己都创造了这一个门派。
So, folks might start off with, hey, I'm pretty good at throwing these fists around. I'm pretty good with kicking my feet around. But then they go and they meet other folks. They might say, hey, you guys have a different way of doing things. And then we have to look at other conditions, such as, one person might be taller than another person. One person might be stockier, stronger inherently speaking. So what happens is that their system that works for them and what they end up teaching. So, one stocky guy might teach another stocky guy, says, hey, you look kind of like me, you're built kind of like me. You know that if we punch, it's going to hit a lot harder than these smaller guys. And so that grows into and evolves into the Kung Fu system or the Kung Fu school.
我们来讲，就是打一个这个比方，讲这个孙氏，就是我们都知道这个孙氏有这个形意拳，他的形意拳最好，就是最出名，但是他还有这个太极。还有这个形意，还有这个八卦。就是孙禄堂，他当时就是说他的形意练得非常好，他和别的一些这个功夫 master 就是功夫师傅的就一起，就是说交流的时候，然后一个太极的，练这个太极拳，觉得这个运手挺好，挺有意思，觉得里面挺好，然后他就是随便。就是说，练了可能就是1个月不到吧，就是说几个月，可能1个月，可能就1个月左右，然后他觉得挺过瘾，他把形意拳融合到这个太极拳里面，然后他自己创了个太极拳。
Okay. So in this example, we're going to talk about a famous historical Kung Fu master called Sun Lutang. And so Sun Lutang was well renowned for his Xingyi style. He was an incredible master of Xingyi. But there came a time where he met with other renowned masters of Tai Chi, Bagua, and through their exchanges, they had kind of almost like a Kung Fu jam. Here's a little bit of my Tai Chi, here's a little bit of my Bagua. And he saw what they had to offer and thought, wow, I like your ideas here, your Tai Chi. For example, the way you do these cloud hand movements, I really like that. Your Bagua, I really like this. So, despite the fact that his style of Xingyi, Sun style Tai Chi, or Sun style Xingyi rather, in future, he took these ideas of Tai Chi, says, I'm going to use their principles, I'm going to create forms similar to Tai Chi, and that eventually evolved into what nowadays we know as Sun Tai Chi.
所以你看他练这他更有意思，他这个八卦其实他也没练多长时间，也就可能几个月时间，哎，然后也练了一个八卦，自己又创了这个八卦。所以说我们就是看他练这个八卦，就是我们的约翰就是练这个形意拳八卦，就孙氏八卦的，你可以看到他们练这个八卦就是这个形意的一个三体式，然后在那个地上转，非常非常有意思，对。
So, for example, Sun Lutang, he didn't learn Tai Chi or Bagua for a particularly long time, but he was a very talented martial artist. So, for example, if you look at Bagua, the Sun style of Bagua or Sun style of Tai Chi are considered entirely different schools, entirely different systems of Kung Fu. But what's fascinating is the fact that by virtue that he was such a well-versed Xing stylist, when you look at Sun style Bagua, Sun style Tai Chi, you see a lot of characteristics of Xing inside them. So Bagua, they're usually known for their footwork, but if you look at the Sun style of Bagua, the footwork actually looks very similar to the footwork of Xing actually, instead of what we typically consider Bagua footwork.
所以我当时在这个云游的时候，我还见到了一个打练这个孙氏，练这个当时练太极，我说从来没见过这太极怎么像形意，非常非常有意思啊！我一问他，这是孙氏太极。
So during Sifu's times wandering as a wandering Daoist, he had come across a style of Tai Chi before that looked nothing like Tai Chi he had ever seen before. He said, you're saying this is a Tai Chi style, but this actually reminds me a lot of Xing Yi instead. So that's interesting. What is this? And that particular practitioner said, oh, this is Sun style Tai Chi.
特别就是我们在这个中国，这个现在还有这个新的这个武术，就是这个武术出来很多很多。其实这个武术呢，就是现在就是他们编的很多很厉害，就是说特别最早的时候，等于说在80几年，我们不说这个功夫的交流，我们就是在80几年中国改革开放以后，就这个就是说。就是有的很多的这种功夫的这种交流大会，交流大会大家都来做，就是很多这个国家这个体委啊，然后觉得就是你把这个东西啊都看看，拍成录像，然后他们回去啊，然后把这个套路给它整编，然后给它整编了很多的现在这个新的这种武术出来了。
对。So, for instance, we talked about it in a previous episode as well. Modern wushu or contemporary wushu, people talk about it so much so that it's practically become regarded as its own style of kung fu. But if you look at it, its history comes out of the fact that when China was trying to really open its doors to the world and also reclaim their culture after the Cultural Revolution, wushu is actually a composite of various different styles. They had all these these martial exchanges, all these masters come together. Hey, here's my style, here's my style, here's my style. And then folks, they'd say, hey, let's record them. Let's take this particular form. This form is beautiful. We want to preserve that. We want to preserve this one. And now let's standardize it. Let's make sure that you have to hit these requirements, and that is wushu. So even though it has this rich history of being a very eclectic sort of sport, it's now you can even see how this is regarded as its own style. Yeah. So, in that sense, what is a style? It's just what we make of it, really.
所以这个武术它有一点像这个跳舞一样，就是几个动作跳好了以后，你可以自己编舞蹈。这武术其实也是的，他们把几个动作练好以后，自己就随便都可以编了。就是很多这个练得好的，他们都可以自己再编这个武术套路。就是这个空翻呐，或这个旋子啊，几个动作做得干净以后啊。
And the other thing is that different styles can come from the fact that even nowadays when we look at contemporary wushu, folks are getting really good with these standards, so they want to push the bar even more. So they say, I hit this standard perfectly, I hit this mark perfectly. Why don't I add in something of my own? It becomes like a dance. Yeah. You have to add your own flavor to it. So folks say, I'm going to add a spin here. I'm going to add a backflip here, so on and so forth. It continues to evolve. So even now you can see how the arts keep evolving, new styles come up, so on and so forth.
其实现在在这个特别在美国，它是非常非常普遍的，在中国也普遍。就是说，一个老师的东西不够了，然后他看一看这个东西，就自己编一个套路或者编一个东西，然后开始教学生，让他给起一个新的名字就是这个什么什么套路，什么什么功夫什么什么拳。其实这个在中国、在美国，就是在很多国家就是很常见的，就是一些 编的这种东西，现在很多。
Yeah. So the other thing is that especially in modern days, folks have a glut of information. It's really easy to go out and see different styles. So folks, they say, I've mastered my style very well. I'm very good at it. You know what? I'm getting a little bored of it. I want to see something new. I want to see something that excites me. So they see other styles and they take ideas from that and then they add it into their curriculum. They do this and this, and before you know it, a million different styles, and then you're putting your own label to it. You're saying, I, as for example, if it was you, I, Rick, have learned all these styles. This is my school of kung fu now.
因为这是现在一个，就是这个问题，就是因为这个人都每天我想学新的东西，管我到底学的怎么样，就是我要学新的东西，然后学，但是没有，就是这老师没有东西教了，那怎么办？就编了，对。
So the fact of the matter is, because folks are so thirsty for new information, if you have these more traditional masters, they only learned this system. Let's say, for example, a Xingyi Sifu, they know only Xingyi, and they've just become the highest level master of it. But Xingyi only has so many things to teach. So if someone comes and they learn those few things, and they get better, say, well, is that it? Isn't there something more? They're going to move on and try to pick up the new thing,
Well, you talk about the different styles. Are certain styles known for special characteristics? And if so, how do they get those specialties?
什么东西？
就是所以比如说人他看几个门派的，可是每一个门派有他自己的特点的，所以这是为什么这个门派有他们自己的特点的。
如果从我们传统功夫来讲的话，对这个门派它是有它的一个特点，什么特点？就是这个师傅他自己总结的他自己个人的这种经验，他的这个经验都是这个门派的一个特点。
So what happens is that a lot of these characteristics, we talked about before, folks in ancient times, they had these arts and they passed it on to others from their own combat experience. So the way we talked about the fact that everyone's built differently, everyone has different circumstances, they learn and come up with different ideas. So, the tall guy might think, from their experiences noticed, hey, I have really long legs, it's really easy for me to kick. So before you know it, by virtue that was his experience, his body type, so on and so forth, he just ended up teaching folks kicking because that's what he or she knew best. So that's where some of these characteristics come from. A woman might have been really good at punching, so that's what she just taught to her students.
就是我再打一个比方，就是说曾经遇到一个人练这个形意，他练这个形意啊，就像那个练这个形意很过瘾，他练的时候就这，然后头一勾没弄一下，就是说没练一个劈掌，他的头都要勾一下，身体走一下，因为他的这个师傅呢，他是个农民。他这个农民是干嘛？他是锄地，就是用那个刨就挖地。所以他经常挖的时候，他把这形意带在里面。他教学生的时候也把那个东西带在里面。所以他做这些劈的时候啊，都像那个人在挖地。
是吗？
对。
So, for example, we've talked about Xingyi, but even Xingyi, much like in the previous example talked about, Xingyi isn't just Xingyi. There's Sun style, there's this style, so on and so forth. So, Sifu was talking about the fact that there was once a master, the Xingyi, the teacher he learned from was actually a farmer. And the farmer, one of the things that he did constantly was using a hoe. Digging holes in the ground. So what happened was that when he did the pichen, the chopping fist from Xingyi, exactly, he took his experience as a farmer. I'm gonna till the fields. So instead of just what we think of in Xingyi as here, just this chopping fist, his chopping fist became digging his whole head forward like when he was working the fields. So that in and of itself became the character of that particular style of Xingyi.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Henry, because I know when you met Shifu, you had already been practicing for years and years and years.
Right.
What were the styles that you were practicing before you came to the Wudang style?
So I'm actually going to have to think about this. So I started out first and foremost with the contemporary wushu. So I did that for about a year and a half, I want to say. It's been a while, so don't quote me on that, but I think it was that. Then I moved on to Southern Fist style, so-called Zhou Xuan-Yun. It's very similar to Honggar. Then I learned Sansho or Sanda, what we typically think of as modern Chinese kickboxing. So I did Sanda, I did some Chen-style Tai Chi, I did some Ba Ji Chen, and then I feel like I'm missing one. But in any case, at least those 5 I'm sure of. But then, as time went on, I met Sifu, and then that was it. I went all in.
Yeah. There's one more question if we have time. This one's for the ladies out there. I just always wondered, because I know there's a lot of women that practice Kung Fu. Have women always been practitioners, or is it always open to women?
Yeah， 就是说我们这个功夫就是说，怎么说呢？就是说，就是所有的这个功夫肯定是 open 什么样的人来，不管老的、少的、男的、女的来，我们都是欢迎的。但是我们教的就是还是就是我以前讲过，就是教他们的时候，我们有点不同的这种方法，就是根据他个人的这种体型、这种体质，然后来给他讲，然后让他怎么去练。对。
So in the history, broadly speaking, yes, it's that it didn't matter if you're old, young, man, woman. The martial arts were open to everybody. But with anything, there's always going to be the minor details in the sense that you had to look at each individual teacher. Some of them had difficulty teaching someone whose body type was just so much different than theirs. So what happened is that you really had to. That was kind of a hurdle that a lot of masters had to get over, saying, "Oh, well, you're smaller than me, and you're a woman. You don't have the same weak spots that I do, so on and so forth." So that's where it might, historically speaking, you might have had some issues where it might have looked like that women weren't necessarily welcome to it, but they were. It's just a matter that was each individual teacher's hurdle to or cross to bear, as it were.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up for today. So if you like what you heard, please subscribe, and we're going to continue to deliver more content based on this information. And if you want to check out the class, you can go to daoistgate.com, and we'll see you next time. 再见.
Hey everybody, we really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Is there a particular style of Kung Fu that you're particularly fond of? Go ahead and leave it in the comments section below. And if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer in the future, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and go ahead and leave a comment in the Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can find us, and we'll see if we can answer the question next time. Until then, take care. We're good? Okay. Intro, take 1. That's a problem. Take 2. Well then, aren't you a cheeky little sigil?